So with day one finished, 60 kilos over, the Olympic champion has been crowned. Let's see what happened in the bracket. Here on the left side in green is the draw that I filled out before the event took place. And here on the right, mapped out in orange, are the matches that I actually predicted are the people winning certain fights. You can see clearly that up here in this top half, chaos happened up here, right? Where, a lot of the things that I had predicted, right, like Mongolia winning here in the first round, actually ended up dropping to the Dutch boy. Again, it was a tough match. The Dutch guy is just, I think, a little bit younger, a little bit hungrier, and because the match went longer than expected, he was able to squeak through. But again, I still had the Russian losing in the first round. I don't see this guy at the level of making the Olympic final. He's a tough guy, and when he's on, but he doesn't show the consistency to be guaranteed an Olympic final position. I think the other one that really threw me for a loop that I kind of had in here as a wild card, I didn't see it happening, but I thought, being the hero of his country and the first potential Olympic medal, the Taipei player right here, he actually outperformed and outshined and rose to the occasion. And he actually made his way all the way into the final, which, I had talking to a couple of, people that pay attention to the stats, and he was a dark horse as well. And some people had actually talked about him being in the final. I just didn't see it coming through. But again, he pulled it off. I think the other important matchup that if you could watch, it's right here, number 20, Uzbekistan versus the Ukraine. I was actually lucky enough to catch the last half of that match online. Shout out to Orja from Azerbaijan for streaming it live through his Instagram account. I was able to tune in and watch it from the TV at the Olympics. So that was pretty cool. But it's crazy because I would have put this guy all the way through, and I put him I think if you fight just Pool B over and over and over again, 9 out of 10 times, you see Uzbekistan come all the way through this. But man, you got to give credit to this Ukrainian boy. He fought his ass off all the way through. Just when you saw it, you could tell the Olympics did something to him where he rose to that occasion and he took it to the Uzbekistan player. And I felt like watching the last half of the match, you could tell that Uzbekistan, when he was looking at it, was like, man, what's going on? Why can't I throw this guy? What's happening? And the Uzbekistan guy was up by 2 Shidos, but he just couldn't get the third. And then before you know it, they both had 2 Shidos. I believe it went all the way into golden score. And then he ended up getting caught with like a crazy sumi at the end. It looked like the Ukrainian was kind of like just trying to make it up, but then before you knew it, he realized the Uzbekistan guy's balance was broken, and he pulled it off. And then you have the unranked French guy actually coming all the way through. And I think, just going back to this, I think if you put the Uzbekistan guy here in the semi, I think Uzbekistan is into the final, just knowing that the Taipei guy made it. Once the Taipei guy was in the final and I saw that, I knew Takato was going to win it. The Taipei boy is Japanese trained, and going against the top Japanese guy thrown into the Olympics, I don't see stylistically, because they have the same style, that he outperforms and beats the Japanese guy. And Takato controlled the match fairly easily. It went a long ways because I think the Taipei guy just had really good defense, but when you're defense and you're just focused on defense, it's hard to generate any real offense, and Takato just Shidoed him out at the end of the day. So probably not the Olympic, the way he wanted to win an Olympic final, but at the end of the day, he's Olympic champion. Down here, I think it was pretty straightforward. I was pretty accurate all the way across. I remember talking about these 2 matches in particular and them being interchangeable, right? They're all pretty much at that same level, but at the end of the day, it didn't affect this happening and seeing this matchup come through. So, as you can tell, again, when we looked at this, I had that Mongolian guy actually making it all the way through, and he didn't. Taipei made it, but still pretty accurate, coming all the way through with some of these top picks. But it is what it is. Here's the results at the end of the day. Let me know if these are videos that you guys would like to see just in the future, looking at some of the Grand Slams, World Championships, some of those bigger level events. I think it's a lot of fun and it's interesting just to kind of look at statistically, like, because when players are thrown into a draw, it really, really affects it, right? If we were to kind of maneuver some of these players around here, like, let's pull out this highlighter and let's just kind of say, because it's random, right? These people could be thrown in the draw anywhere. Let's take this French boy and let's just throw him right here, right? Just because it is random. Now, when you look at the draw, the French guy doesn't make it to the semi, right? He loses probably in the second round to Takato, who actually won it, and now the French guy doesn't medal at the games. So it's interesting just when you see the draw because of how it plays out and how the matchups and stylistically how the different players play. Certain people can beat certain styles more than others, but at the end of the day, this is what happened, and that's the 60 kilo draw versus my prediction.